Okay, this should be working. Should be working. Should be working. Hello, hello. This is the grand final of the... Oh shit, I didn't put the link in. Grand final of the... Oh shit, I didn't put the link in. Well, that's not a very good start, is it? Hello and welcome to the grand finals of the Broken Arrow's biggest tournament, the Broken Arrow World Series. Today we've got a Russian-speaking team, or they might be Ukrainian. I think it's a mix. Playing as the Americans, and they're going up against an American-speaking team playing as the Russians. So, wow, crazy. Anyway, this is game 1 of a best of 3. I'll try and get the picks and bans up for you. And basically, just to fill you in, if you've not seen a Broken Arrow tournament game before, how's it going, everybody? Grok drawn Bennis on screen. If you've not seen this before, there is no spectator mode. So what's happening here is that we've just got... pretty sure you can see this. We've just got every single player is live streaming on Discord. And we can just go between the streams and see what's what. So they're doing their best with this, with the bad situation the devs have given them. And so yeah, we'll so this is, he's called Senator, right? And then we've got Cole Daton here. And I don't know if he's like streaming without sound or what, because I can't hear anything. Yep. Or it's just his sound is very quiet. And then we've got a Shearer, who has a Comic Sans name or something. Oh, that's nice quality. 1440p Nitro. Okay, we're going to be watching this guy more than the others. Because Senator, his quality is good, but he's like flinging his camera around the screen. And then Collar Daton, the quality ain't so good. Ain't so good. So this is 1440p 60 FPS, which is what the live stream's running at. So it doesn't get much better than that. And what do you mean, bro? It's the grand finals of the $2 million, $400 US dollar, etc. tournament, right? So don't be mad. Don't be mad. My Twitch stream is telling me I'm offline. But yeah, I mean, obviously we've got the taskbar at the bottom and so on, but like, you've got to give them credit for actually trying to organize this, given what the devs have given them to work with. No spectator mode.
Hello, I like money.
So on.
Alex Skedron subscribed to the channel.
That's very kind of you, Alex. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, obviously at this point I would begin my normal sort of incredible quality insights, because in Wano, of course, world #1, amazing player. And but in this game I'm kind of shit, so I don't really know anything. But yeah, I don't know. This guy I think is also playing without sound. It's okay, we'll make it work. We'll make it work.
Atali 9908 became a member.
Thank you.
Atali 9908 celebrates
I wonder what this is going to
22 months
say.
of membership. Can we add another stream into the mix? Like someone screen sharing the screen share to you. I think that would improve the viewing quality. 9 November Decillion 999 Octo Decillion 999 September Decillion 999 Sext
Now
Decillion
this is increasing my
999
stream quality.
999 Quatuor Decillion 999 Tree Decillion 999 Duo Decillion 999 Undecillion 999 Decillion 999 Nonillion 999 Octillion 999 Septillion 999 Sextillion 999 Quintillion 999 Quadrillion 999 Trillion 999 Billion 999
There is a way to cut it off, but I don't actually know how to do it.
999.
So there you go. But yeah, I mean, clearly adding to the quality of the stream there. So this is 720p 15 FPS, but we have sound, right? And this is, who is this? Grand. So the only one left, I think, is Stas, or Director. So this is Nitro. He's got Discord Nitro. How can all these Russian guys afford Discord Nitro? I can't afford Discord Nitro. Anyway, things are happening. So you see the. Honestly, I wish I had some quality insights for you, but I suck at this game. Truly, watching somebody bring the assault breach at Abrams, that's that one in the bottom left there. That's a coffin launcher off Warno, and it is a lot of fun to use. But I find it kind of. I mean, obviously, I suck at this game, right? These guys are the finalists; they're the best players in the universe, so that means it's viable. But I just find it's like. It takes so long to bring it up and reload it and stuff, and there aren't actually that many units in the game, and so it's quite rare that you need it, if that makes sense. But I suppose if your micro's good, then you could just dome a unit once every so often, right? In Wano it's once a minute. I couldn't tell you what it is on this. They are speaking in Russian, but I muted my mic because obviously I don't really understand what they're saying. What is your opinion on the helicopter currently in the red team's backline? I think it's incredible, truly. And they've got some recon back there as well, as you can see. So, well, clearly the helicopter's dropped off the recon. So that's cool. We just saw a killer egg, killer hind on the left. I don't know if you could see that there. That was a little bird killing a big boy helicopter. Truly, we are the broken arrow. If you want some actually quality insight, you can check the link in the description of the YouTube channel. And that's a link to the official stream. This is the B stream. So they're looking at the American point of view. So that's my Discord, it's not your Discord. So yeah, I mean, we've got a poll. Oh, I didn't do it, did I? Who will win game 1? It's a best of 3. Who will win game 1? USA team playing as Russia, or Russia team playing as USA. Obviously, I think they're Ukrainian. Right? Like some of them are Ukrainian, some of them aren't. It's very interesting analysing these kind of Slavic communities, where like obviously these countries are at war and a lot of them are dying, but they just kind of hang out on the Discord and they'll just play games together, even though they're all. Like they're actually, you know, on opposite sides of the battlegrounds, and they still hang out. So that's pretty inspirational, right? A message for peace, right? You can have peace through video games. That lav looks pretty cool. Striker M Shorad there taking out the helicopter, and yeah, you just don't get that many units in Broken Arrow, right? So with this blue player here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like maybe 11 units. Obviously, so I think the idea is that you save up enough for, like, if you need a plane at any point in the game, you just basically always float enough points for a plane. And there was a couple more things in the background there. He's got a GMLRS, right? So that's an M270 off Wano. In this, it's a lot better. Well, we managed to fool at least one person. We got somebody asking if Broken Arrow has a spectate mode. No. The way they've had to do this tournament is really quite inspirational. So, here's me. Here's the entire red team. And here's the entire blue team, except Bobber, I think. It's not streaming. So that's how it's being done. No official spectate mode. So they're doing their best. They're giving it their all, right? But no, we are currently watching a Discord stream, and they have varying quality. I'm gonna tell you this it's probably the best one. So I'll flick back through it. I'll show you again, right? So this is Koldaton, and you know, 720p 60 FPS is not so bad, but it's really quiet, and it's definitely not at 60 FPS. And then we've got Ashes. So Ashes is 1440p 60, definitely the best video quality, right? The issue is there's no sound. Can't hear anything. But yeah, he's fighting out on the left here. And then you've got Grand. And he's definitely got the worst PC. One wonders how he's capable of even, you know, winning with such an incredible FPS. But yeah, he's fighting more on the right? So he's on the far right there. And he's the guy with the scouts, the sneaky stuff, right? He's the guy who got the scouts behind. And they're seeing all the helos coming in and so on. It's on return fire. And then we've got Senator. and he's fighting on the far left as well, the furthest left. He's the furthest left player. That's an interesting lav at the back there, trying to push for hotel. Of course, you know, in one, oh wow, he's managed to get something around the back here. We got some strikers. This isn't bad quality, I got to tell you, actually. So yeah, Rangers RRC coming in. But yeah, you got to give them credit, guys. I know it's like, oh, it's not an optimal experience for me. Imagine how the experience is for them. They have to main a game that basically barely runs. The quality is bad enough to begin with, and they have to stream all the games on Discord, right? Imagine being a pro in Broken Arrow, right? Truly a fate worse than death. So you got to give them credit. You got to give them credit. They're doing their best, right? These people should be lauded for their ability to put up with this shit. Incidentally, I've been told that the devs are taking tournaments in-house. Tournaments are going to be in-house now. So, 720p at 15 FPS Broken Arrow must be optimized amazingly, yeah. Yeah, I wonder if any of them are using that frame generation, like the AI frame generation. That's the only way I could get it to be playable. Use the FSR, it's called, AI frame generation. It leaves some really interesting artifacts on the screen, because obviously the AI isn't... It's pretty good, I gotta give them credit. Like, not the devs who made the FSR. But like things like this is obviously a perfect circle. But the AI image recognition technology doesn't know that. And so as you move from left to right, the circles kind of squish and stuff. I wear some pretty powerful glasses because I spent too long on the computer, so my eyes went square. And so I have the same thing. If I look out the corner of my eyes, it's actually kind of compressed like that. So basically what I'm trying to say here is life is actually AI. Life imitates art, as it were. So check out that helo in the background. He got a bunch of stuff there. That was very powerful. And you can see they know when the jets are up because of this recon here. So that's very powerful. This guy's on return. Oh, he's been spotted. He's had to smoke. It depends entirely on your setup, Sandshoot. So for me, it made it way, way better. It like practically doubled my... Try setting it on aggressive. Have you ever played it and you think it's worth it? Rattenreich. I've heard of it. I know what it is. It's the one with the female rat on the cover, right? And they're trying to get all the bestiality guys into it. So I didn't really pay much attention to it after seeing that. I was like, okay, that's a furry game. I am not a furry, therefore I will not be playing the furry game. But yeah, we're coming up to the end of Phase 1, and it looks like Red's going to eke it out on a +1. Now, of course, in Broken Arrow, that doesn't matter. It literally all comes down to Phase 3, with maybe a 5% contribution Phase 1, 10% phase contribution Phase 2. Maybe bump that up to 15%. Because the points double, all these points double. So for those of you who are here from Wano, the way it works in this game is you get +1 for each flag you cap, but that only happens at the end of every 15 minutes. So when this fills up, right? Some MLRS coming in there, hi Mars. And so if you have one more, you get +1, right? But then if you have one more in Phase 2, you get +2. So Phase 2 by design matters twice as much as Phase 1. But then in Phase 3, it's +3. So Phase 3 matters as much as Phase 1 and 2 put together, just by design. And so yeah, I find the game difficult to enjoy for that reason, because as you know from my playstyle, I'm a very aggressive player in Wano. And most of my games don't last that long. I really struggle in longer games, and every single one of these games is 45 minutes. Because it has to be, because of the way it works. So it's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Issue with laptops is it's like the heat sinks, right? You can't use your full power because your PC explodes. So they're like all the chips and stuff are like underclocked by default and things like that. And you can try and override it, but then your laptop just goes poof, so you can't really do anything about it. I'm loving this smoke play. He's rushing in, right? So we've got 1 minute 30 until the end of the phase, and that's what he's doing. He's got the smoke in a line, and he's going for I. He's going to try and cap I. Now you'll notice that over on the right side, I would skip to another stream, but who can be asked with that? They've managed to cap that zone, so if he can take this, they're going to win this phase. The thing is that they're already ahead on kills, so they need to make sure that they don't lose, because if he loses all those guys there, they will lose that conquest, that kill point, because in Broken Arrow it's a mix of flags and zones, and sorry, that's the same thing, flags and kills. So he has to make sure he doesn't lose his stuff in the next minute, otherwise they're gonna lose that +1. So if he throws all his guys away, which he's just done, and he hasn't got the zone, that means that now it's even for the end of phase 1. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter, but if he had done nothing, he would have got a +1. And that's the horror show that is Broken Arrow. You get punished for attacking, you get punished for doing anything, you get punished for spending your income. So yeah, rip. Because he lost all those guys, they lost the... Oh wait, it's going up again. If he gets a couple more kills with this Booker, he can pull it back. They're going to get that +1, guys. Any second now. We've got 12 seconds left. I didn't know that, Maxi. I'm a +1. Thank you. That's very kind of you, I think. And there you go. It ends up being even Stevens because he tried to take the zone, and if he had done nothing, they would have got a +1. So truly, the Broken Arrow are the friends we made along the way. What a game mode. What an incredible game. Did you know, Siege Fritz, that if the enemy gets a +1, everybody on your team gets 100 points in the next phase? I think it's 100. It used to be 60, and they upped it, I think, to 100. It might be like 80 or something. But yeah, so let's say I get a +3 over you. In the next round, every single member of your team gets 300 points. Like, as soon as the round ends, as soon as the phase ends, they get those points. So you just get like a free tank. If I'm on a +3, you get a free tank, which is like per person, that's 5 tanks. In a game where you've basically got like 10 units each. And all of a sudden just 5 more heavy tanks pop out of nowhere. That's a fucking horror show. So, honestly, people always complain about the UI. And they complain about it in Wano. Now, I understand the Wano argument that Red Dragon's lines are better than Wano's circles. You know, for the aim and the reload, I do prefer the lines. But apart from that, I don't really see the problem with the UI, right? It just looks normal to me. There's a minimap, there's some stuff at the top, there's some icon labels. Like, what is it specifically you don't like? And I'm not being... See, look at that 0.69 KD. I'm not being, you know, I'm not trying to wind you up. I genuinely mean it, because people say the same thing about Wano. It's like I'm completely blind to this. It's like being colourblind. Thankfully, I'm not colourblind, but you get my point, right? I just don't understand the problem. So we'll see if next game we can switch to the American team. I mean, I'm allowed to go into the American team and stream it. It's just the official Broken Arrow stream on YouTube. Broken Arrow World Series stream has... what the heck's going on here? So this is the official stream, and that is N7 Shark, the guy doing it. And then this is Benjiverse, who is just watching the official stream. So, Tally, there you go. You said, I want to live stream in my live stream in my live stream. That is it. Because we're obviously watching the game on Discord, right? As is N7 Shark, who is here, right? And then N7 Shark is streaming on Twitch, which is here. And then Benjiverse is watching N7 Shark. So truly, this is the ultimate competitive game. What an incredibly competitive game. Anyway, really enjoying the backline action here. I mean, Blue, they were losing before the phase, or it was tied, and all of a sudden they've just come out massively ahead in this second phase, which is crazy. And now look at this, he's killing all the arty. This is a huge kills. Huge kills. That Comanche. And look at that, he sees the that thing, the burrito. Ah, he wasn't able to kill it. That was a very cool wraparound there. Massive kills there. Now they're 2 ahead, and they're not too far behind on the kills as a result of it. Big plays on Broken Arrow. Big Broken Arrow plays. Have I been missing out? Not really. Not really. Wano runs better graphics. The disadvantage of Wano, apart from its lack of marketing, which is why it didn't sell as well, is that it's not modern times. Broken Arrow is modern times. Except they started development 5 years ago, which is before Ukraine and Russia figured out that, okay, modern times is just 24/7 drones, whereas in this game there aren't that many drones. There's very few, there's no FPV drones or anything like that. So it's modern times. It's basically what people thought the Ukraine war would be before it actually happened. And then it happened and they're like, oh, everything is drones, okay. Which, admittedly, probably wouldn't make for a very compelling game. Unless you played as a drone pilot or something. Like, I don't know, that'd be pretty macabre. Although, well, did you ever play Operation Metro in Battlefield 3? And you use that MAV drone, and if you flew it at people's heads height, it would kill them. And so you would just fling the MAV drone through Operation Metro, and you just hit them all in the head and knock them all down. So there you go, Battlefield 3 predicted modern war. And they did it again in Battlefield 4. There was another drone, which was like it was like a paper aeroplane, and it sort of did the same thing but faster. And there was another map that was very similar called Operation Locker, I think it was, and you just did exactly the same thing. Yeah, the prison map, Operation Locker, is basically the same thing but better because that drone was faster. Although I think it would explode when it hit somebody, whereas the MAV didn't. They ended up patching the MAV so it just went through people because it was honestly ridiculous. If you remember, like, the USAS 12 and stuff like that. It's fond memories of Battlefield 3. The glory days, yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, so a lot of people... So this is something that's very, very cool about Broken Arrow. You can laser guide munitions, and that is better than Wano. So laser guided munitions in Wano are just... there we go. Laser guided drones and stuff in Wano, it just has a smaller fire circle if there's recon anywhere near it. In this, you actually put the laser on him, and he can't see the laser, and the missile actually hones in on the laser. It's very cool. It's very cool. Like, it looks very cool. It's a very cool mechanic. There's a lot of things Broken Arrow does do better than Wano that we have to give him credit for. C-Ram gets caught out by Batman there. Batman is not in Wano. So there you go, there's Batman. Booker's just going to kill him. Infantry AT in Broken Arrow is kind of shit. Batman has the best infantry AT in the game, if I recall, or at least one of the best ones in the game. And this Booker thing is just going to immediately eviscerate him. Goodbye, Batman. Yeah, there he goes. There's nothing he can do. So yeah, tanks can just drive into forests and just drive over infantry. Like I said, it's one of the best ATs in the game, that Batman squad. What can you do, eh? Yeah, the aircraft is kind of better. Like, the customization is cool. The main issue is, like, you saw that. Did you see that laserness there? So he dropped the bomb, and then the laser came in, and did you see how it went red? It's because it was homing directly in on it. So that was a very cool kill. Air in this game in general is kind of a bit too strong. Not because it's too strong in isolation. It's just because, so when you buy a unit, you have to pay upkeep on that unit until you sell it or until it dies. And so if you buy a tank you're paying tax on that tank for like the 2 minutes it takes to get to the front lines, and then you're paying tax on it constantly until it dies. Whereas a plane, you're only paying tax until it either dies or gets back to the base, which is like 20 seconds as opposed to 2 to 4 minutes, right? So planes just end up being a very cost-effective way of killing these heavy tanks and stuff because you don't have to pay the tax. So, faster return on investment, and less upkeep, less time paying the upkeep. So, it's rough, and it's kind of similar with artillery. I mean, they kind of patched this a bit, but basically you could buy cruise missiles, fire them all, and then oh, look at that synchronized play. He was like, let's go in with the helos together, 2v1 that enemy hind or whatever it is. Honestly, the Russians are really pulling out ahead here. So yes, he lost that plane, and the plane probably cost slightly more than the tank, but not that much more. But the point is that that tank was costing upkeep the entire time it got to the front line. So the plane wasn't. He just bought it, chucked it in. You know, it either gets out or it doesn't. So, unit tax is necessary because nothing really dies. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Basically, you know, one of the reasons the game is more successful is because you don't get that many units, right? And a lot of these guys, probably not the guys in this tournament, but a lot of the people who bought Broken Arrow, it was like basically their first ever strategy game. And so this for them is too many units because they're just not used to it. They're just not used to it. I need to sort out that sound. Sorry, it's probably winding you up. Join channel. Sound. Viewer join. There we go. Switch that off. User join. Right, you shouldn't get those sounds anymore. So yeah, they wanted very few units, I think, as a design decision, and it probably helps with the optimization. Well, he tried clicking really fast there, but it didn't help him out. But yeah, the Russians, they were... I mean, the Americans who were playing Russia were holding their own in the first phase. But the Russians, just as soon as the second phase happened, they just suddenly had some kind of a massive breakthrough, got a bunch of stuff on the backlines to kill all the arty. And now he's positive on the KD, 1.09. So there you go, our boy, whoever this is, Senator, has brought his way back, brought himself back there, so good for him. More of a MOBA game, yes, I think that's fair. It does remind me more of Dota 2. He does have the AI thing on. You can tell because of the tracers on the pings, because I got the same thing when I switch it on. I'm not sure what he's doing now. But I wonder what he means by that. Just ping in there. Who knows? Who knows? I could let you listen to the voice, but they're all speaking Russian. I've got no clue what they're saying. I think it's Russian. It might be Ukrainian. Obviously, this is not a mistake you want to make, but in my Western ignorance, you know, our American rooks same, as they say in East Asia, right? So, what can you do? Helps with optimization. It does. If you don't use that FSR thing, you get like 20 FPS. The only thing that saves you is AI frame generation in this game, so... Need to add the Stormtrooper squad. Yep, no TV license. They just throw a TV at you. That's flat screen. That's an interesting idea, Javelin. Because they've got the 0% interest rate. That's where all the RAM's going, yeah, for the AI frame generation on Broken Arrow. Crazy, crazy, crazy world we live in. I gotta tell you, man. I know we try not to talk about politics on the hippie YouTube channel, but I mean, come on. Oh yeah, most of your ruling class are pedophiles. Here's 3 million documents. Oh, is anything gonna happen? No, not really. Great! Anyway, back to the game. The Russians are really far ahead on kills, right? And that's the main kicker. So, because let's say you fall behind on zones, okay? That tank's immobilized, by the way. That's what that the red means. If you fall behind on zones, you need to expend... Because attacking's harder than defending, right? But you lose people in the attack. They get caught in the open, you know, they get sniped by a plane, whatever. And so if you don't... So if you're behind on zones and kills, it's a very, very difficult situation to come back from. Because he's probably going to get both of these kills as well. So they went for a funny wraparound, but for whatever reason, he knew it was coming, so good for him. Obviously, we can see his screen, so it's not like he's cheating. I think we'd notice. But yeah, if you're behind on zones and kills, it's very, very hard to get the zones back. And you see the kill lead is increasing, and I think that's because the American team, who are playing as Russia, are trying to push back into the zones before the timer ticks down. But in doing so, they lose even more guys. So it does have a kind of snowballing effect. Now, the counter to that is that, okay, so these guys are going to get 2, 4, 6, 8 points in a second. And that, I think, means that every player on the enemy team is about to get 800 points. I shit you not. I think it's either 50 times or 100 times. And I can't remember which way round it is. So... Crazy, crazy. Can you add subway services in the corner? It's not even AI upscaling its basic old tech. Really? FSR? I need to read up on that. I mean, well, I mean, the word AI obviously is just a ridiculous word, isn't it? So like, most of the modern things are large language models, which is, it's not artificial intelligence, but we all call it AI, right? And so it's it is what it is. 400 points per... Oh, so it's 50 per point. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, there's a Mario Party-esque comeback mechanic. The whole game's like that, Peppy. The whole game is like that. So, have you noticed all these are +3s now? At the start, they were +1s. So you can basically come back at any point in the game, because now, you know, whereas they had 4 advantages in the last round, 3 on the kills and 1 on the zones, the enemy now only needs 3 advantages to win. Now, having said that, is that going to happen? I don't think so. I think the Russians have basically got their number in this first game. FSR 4 is AI. Ah, right, okay. Ah, fair enough. It's pretty interesting to sort of know about, like, in general, right? Why isn't it shooting? He's got a round, it's just not firing. That said it had a bullet. Right, well, broken arrow moment. But yeah, I think purple are the enemy. You can change your own colours in this, so it's not always the same. Basically, green and blue is friendly, but he's put purple as enemy, but purple is blue, so it is what it is. They now call AI AGI. Yeah, that's true, yeah. Oh yes, of course, the overkill system. So Legal Leopard makes a good point there. What happened there is, because the way the game works is it tries to save you ammunition by not shooting... So let's say a plane flies over 8 anti-air pieces. In Warno, all anti-air pieces in range, let's say all 8, will all just shoot the plane, right? Because it... yeah, whatever. It's coming at me, I'm going to shoot it. Unless you tell it not to. In Broken Arrow, the computer talks to itself, right? And it's like, I have 8 AA pieces. This guy should die in 1 hit, so I'm only going to fire 1 missile, and the other 7 AA pieces will just sit there and do nothing. There's no way to switch this off. And what happens is that then the plane survives that 1 missile because of desynchronization or ECM, or just it dives and, you know, dodges it. and then the AI will be like, I'm going to fire one more missile, and then the plane blows you up and gets out. And the only way to override it is to select all your AA and right-click that plane, and it will force override it. There's no way to switch it off in the settings. And so air is just like way stronger than it should be, because you can literally have 4 AA pieces that all have line of sight on this plane, and only 1 or 2 of them will shoot. And they asked the devs about this, and he was like, no, I'm leaving it like that. And this is why the Russians hate flicks. They absolutely despise them. The Russian-speaking community really doesn't like him, and this was one of the reasons. They made this big letter where they were talking about how he needs to change overkill. He was like, nah, because then you'd lose all your ammo. And the solution's so simple as well. The solution is so simple. All you got to do, right? The computer already has the code to say, I don't want to overkill this guy, right? So I'm only going to fire 1 missile. Just set that percentage to 300%. And so let's say you can fire 8 missiles, it'll fire 3, right? And there you go, problem solved. Because then, or the odd one, you still save your ammo, you're not firing 8, and the chance of it surviving the 3 when it should die to 1 is basically 0. Like, statistically speaking, it's very, very low. And that would just fix it. But no, I can't do that. Might lose your ammo. Oh, dude, it really is something. Human eyes can only process information at 8 FPS. Game is obviously, if you have a mega supercomputer, the game's fine. But basically, what's happening here, Railgun, is that we're spectating people, live people, and these people, I think, are either Russian or Ukrainian. Probably a mix, most likely. And so, you know, some of their computers and their internet connections might not be so good. And even if it was, the game does run like shit, so probably have a problem with it anyway. So yeah, there are different things. I got to tell you, this is probably the best quality on this team. So you can see, you know, this guy, he's streaming at a better quality, but the game is running at a worse quality. You can see he's downgraded his resolution. So that's another way you can save on FPS. Downgrade your resolution. And so he's on the far right, and then we got the guy in the middle, Coledaton. And he's playing with a very quiet sound. Then we got a Shearer here, and this is the best quality. But for whatever reason, he's not got any sound, so we can't hear anything. But check that out. They got some tornadoes in the back. The tornadoes getting taken out by the Comanche. Honestly, the Comanche in the backline is a very, very powerful strategy. That's the helicopter they used to assassinate Bin Laden. And then one of them like crashed or something like that. And yeah, so in this game it has stealth, so you can just immediately imagine, well, what would a Warno helicopter be like if it had stealth? And yeah, you just send it around the side and just take the piss. But yeah, this guy's got a nice PC, but for whatever reason he just plays with the sound off or something. And now here we've got somebody's DMing me. Then we've got Grand. Grand is really struggling here. Hopefully they give Grand some of the prize money so he can use it 720p, 15 FPS. And honestly, this must be very difficult for him to play. So for him to be one of the best players in the game is honestly... you know, he's playing with both hands behind his back, basically. So credit to him. Big ups. And then we got Senator, who we just saw, and then Staz, Director. And, oh, I suppose I already showed this one, right? So, yeah, I mean, the Russians, they're out ahead. The American playing Russians, they're out ahead. Looks like they're going to do it, right? They're on that +3. 7 minutes left. The kills have evened out. This resets every time on the kills, so You know, if you like mega feed in phase 2, like that's sorted. You don't have to think about that again. I'm waiting for that assault breacher to shoot, or is it just firing its grenade launcher at people? Yeah, it's not doing anything. Wow, his tracers look better than mine. You know, like the lights on the missiles and stuff. Oh, he's going to try and fire the M click at the... Oh, that's a shame. I would have liked to have seen that. Wait, what did he just... He just killed his mate. He definitely just shot his friend there, right? Or was he on the enemy team? They're using different colours. Yeah, the colour thing, you can set it yourself, so all of them have different colours, basically. Well, Shadow, I mean, basically the devs, and they succeeded in this, they were ultimately successful. The devs had that classic mentality of, let's just get everybody to give us the money now and promise to fix it later. And that's exactly what Broken Arrow is. It is a series of broken promises, I suppose you could say. But no, it's just a case of, oh yeah, well, don't worry, we're working on it. Can I have a refund in the meantime? No. Why do you want a refund? We're going to fix it. So, for the people in the chat who are like, should I pick up this game? No, wait for them to fix it. In 2027, they're going to add China. I think that's when you should check again and see if it's worth playing. Because by then, the game will be 50% off. It will get a massive player increase because of China. And it will probably have a spectate mode. And among other things. So yeah, that's my advice to you. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe when they release China, maybe it'll just go bust. But this game made... oh, his mate's playing Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. That's a better game than this. Cheaper as well. Anyway. Yeah. Maybe the game made $33 million on Steam. So, like, it made more than Wano. And the studio was smaller, it's now bigger. They say they're up to about 50 people now, not including the publisher. So, the studio is now bigger than Wano. So yeah, I would, unless you have some like burning... Whoa, that was a good nuke. Whoa, he got a lot there. He got a lot there. Did you see all the different coloured skulls? That was incredible. So there you go, glad we got to see that. And there's no nukes in Wano, right? So credit where credit's due. Sadly, his plane died, but... And it looks like his computer's died as well. The stream just shat itself after that. Oh, man. Can you save the game? No, you cannot save the game. The nukes are in the code in Wano. Like, mods unlock it, but they're not actually in the game. But yeah, that was a good nuke. But yeah, Senator seems to have the best kind of setup for the streaming and so on, and some interest. Oh, he's made it in. He's made it in. He's redeemed himself. But yeah, you'll notice how they keep, and he was doing it before as well. They keep checking their KD, and it's because it matters, because it counts towards this score. Like, you need to have an over 1 KD, otherwise you're throwing. So. So the good news, if you, because like, obviously, yeah, we kind of got scammed a little bit, but if you just think about it purely like, I want as many good games as possible, then the good news is they made enough money to make the best game, and they've learned the next game, and they've learned from their mistakes in some ways, and so, you know, unless you're old and you're gonna die soon. Although, well, okay, maybe we'll have World War III next week, right? But in general, the idea is that, you know, Broken Arrow 2 in 2030, probably going to be a pretty good game. In the meantime, sort of stuck with this. Bronze Age with real arrows. When will I make a Wano clone? Well, so I am working on a game at the moment. It's called Hearse Hero, and it was supposed to be a learning project. And if channel joiners get a key for it, it is on Steam. I still need to make the store page, but it's basically like Crazy Taxi. After that, I sort of wanted to make a shooter, but I've understood that because I'm very grateful for this. There's 470 channel members. I mean, that really is incredible. Thank you. But only about 70 of them have claimed their Hearse Hero key. So most of them don't give a shit because they're interested in strategy games, right? So maybe I should make a strategy game as my second game. It's just they are the hardest type of game to make, and they have the smallest market, but there's less competition, right? There's less competition. If this was a shooter, imagine if just like, obviously it's an RTS, but imagine a game that ran this badly, with this many technical problems, this many hackers, for that price, right? Imagine if it was a shooter. It would completely flop. Nobody would have bought it. But because it's a strategy game, and we're all, you know, oppressed minority gamers, strategy gamers, right? Oppressed minority gamers. It sold really well. So maybe there's something to be said for... See, so there you go, so he got that, and he's going to get out. Oh, never mind. He's dead. Tarkov is pretty popular. Hippies hit and run, cabin feed. So there you go, the Russians, clean sweep. 0 points for the Americans, who are Russian, who are playing Russia. So the winner in game 1 was USA team. But now in the next game, I think, because obviously America is supposed to be the stronger faction, right? At the moment. So in the next game, the Americans will be playing America, which should give them a buff. But the Russians will be playing Russia, and that also gives them a buff. So here's your KD. Senator on 1.21. Yeah. It's so Bobber is a sub. He's a sub for the grand finals of the tournament. They had to get a sub, so you know that's obviously not great for him. Grand finals of a $400 tournament, you have to come in as a sub. That's pretty rough. But the whole thing was supposed to happen yesterday, so. I'm stuck 6 minutes in queue in Tarkov. I love Tarkov. I love Tarkov. Test the developers of Broken Arrow and not shower until the game is fixed. Well, I'm glad I live nowhere near you because after 2 years you're going to smell pretty bad. Pretty bad. So it's a best of 3, right? It's a best of 3. And yeah, we'll see how it goes for game 2. So in game 2 we'll spectate the American side, I guess. This is new from when I stopped playing. And yeah, we've got some stats here, right? Got some stats. I hope I'm allowed to show you this. So this is the picks and bans. So BMS, who are the guys who just won, picked Meandering River. I think. I think. Does it mean by first pick, first map? And then Monkeys pick Chaklasovsk Air Base. And if you pick the map, your opponents pick the side. So you don't want to pick a really one-sided map because you will be on the bad side 100% of the time, unless your opponent doesn't know what they're doing. And yeah, the third one is going to be Highway of Death, which is, of course, it's like Highway to Soul in Red Dragon, so... Didn't you interview the #1 BA player? Yes, I interview myself daily, on a daily basis. But no, the #1 BA player was I Won the Internet, and he actually was the #1 BA player, and he changed his name to Hippie, which is how we have the screenshot of me being the world #1 Broken Arrow player. But no, he was the world #1 player, and he basically just got sick of the game, and he gave up being the world #1 at Broken Arrow to be like an above average Wano player. Like he was willing to make that trade, which is very rare. Very, very rare. If you look at people like Razman, right? Razman, best Wargame Red Dragon player, basically refuses to play Wano. and you know, he'll have his reasons, and people can project reasons onto him. But a big part of it is just, well, look at when I play Wano, I'm the best, right? Well, you know, but when I play Age of Empires 4, I get the shit beaten out of me. So it's kind of it makes you just kind of feel bad. So yes, it's a crazy world, a crazy world. So 5 minutes till the next map, although they said that 1 minute ago. There's only one map in Red Dragon, yeah, that's correct, yeah. They added numbers to the game, yes, there's some numbers and some Russian here. Red Dragon does do some things better than Wano. It can be so frustrating. It can be so frustrating. That it's like one step forwards, one step back, that sort of thing. I feel kind of bad for N7, man. I mean, I don't know if maybe he doesn't mind, but you're streaming a thing and somebody's literally just watching your stream and has, you know, more viewers than you. I mean, I guess N7's not really making anything off this because he's doing it on this Broken Arrow World Series official channel, but I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't. Could you imagine if I did that to Protoss or something? It would literally be like world-ending mono drama. If I just watched Protoss on cast an SDL game and got more views than him, and just it doesn't even bear thinking about. I don't think I'd survive the public outcry. Yeah, Red Dragon's infantry combat's better. The differentiation between guns in Red Dragon is better. In Wano, all the guns are basically the same. And so that's why, you know, because they're like, oh, we'll add the G11. Well, the G11's just going to be the same as everything else, so it doesn't really matter. And there's no training, there's just veterancy, and there's one fewer rank of veterancy in Wano than there is in Red Dragon. Training ended up coming back as sort of traits. So in Red Dragon, something like KDA Schutzen or Provincio just sucks balls because it's you know, but it's cheap. Like it's cheap and loads of guys. You'll have noticed that in Wano there are exactly 0 units which are cheap and loads of guys. Because even something like KDA Schutzen with the militia trait and the disheartened trait, right, gets both of them. They're still not as bad as, you know, the equivalent in Red Dragon, because in Red Dragon they have separate trainings, and so which it has been represented a little bit in the traits. So the KDA Schutzen will go at 15 kilometers an hour, whereas Special Forces will go at 30, which they have they made Special Forces faster, but it's like Shock will go faster than line infantry and things like that, whereas. Yeah, and it was just handled better in Red Dragon, whereas in Wano they kind of botched it, and basically just having more guys is basically always better, because the guns are all the same, and yeah, you've got these malices and so on, but having more guns just is better, and there's nothing like so in Red Dragon the MG3 is actually really good, and so if you have an MG3 squad, then you're gonna be world #1 broken Wano player. Whereas in Wano, the MG3 is identical to the PKM, or is it the PKP? Whichever sits, the MG3 is equivalent to all other 7.62 belt-fed machine guns. Right, apart from the M60, which is just worse than all of them for whatever reason. Although they might have, so they actually, the last patch actually made this problem worse because it got all of the M16A1s in America, and it made them as good as the M16A2 to standardize them. So it actually got worse. This problem got worse. It's crazy. Yeah, it's So there's always right, so we're going to swap now. I'm going to cover the Americans, and my esteemed colleague is going to cover the Russian. That's me. That's me. Uh, that's the thumbnail. So I don't know. I like being able to heal in Warner and Red Dragon. I prefer that. It's just really weird that the same studio can make like 3 steps forwards, 1 step back, or 2 steps forwards, 1 step back for like 20 years. And so you end up with a sequel which is better in a lot of ways. Warner is better than Red Dragon in a lot of ways, particularly the technical ways. It's got better graphics, it has more quality of life features. But in some ways, it's just worse. It's just they've basically just forgotten their old lessons. So I've not played Warhammer 3 multiplayer, but I've played Warhammer 2 and 1 multiplayer with my friends. Not on the campaign map because I just don't have the patience for that. But the battles are a lot of fun. Like, so I would play. So they added Ikit Claw, the Skaven guy. Sorry, Scarven. You call him Scarven. Um, and that was cool. But and they had these like machine guns, so like rats with Gatling guns. They called Ratling guns. Wow, hilarious, right? But yeah, I never played Warhammer 3, even though like it was given away for free on Epic or something, so I could just boot it up and play it without any of the DLC, right? But I just can't be arsed. I mean, every Total War game feels the same. But you at the start it's fun, and then you at one point the same thing always happens where you get like 5 or 6 cities, and then you just can't lose anymore. And it's just not challenging in the slightest. There's actually very, very few Total War campaigns that I've ever finished. I just play like the first 20 hours, and I'm like, well, I've basically won now, and I just get bored, right? And the fundamental problem I have with the series is that the AI is dog shit. It's always bad, and it's the same every game. Like it never seems to get any better. If you have even 2 brain cells to rub together, the fights are easy, and the only way to make them harder is to boost the AI. So either all its stats are just better than yours, or it just gets 3 times as many guys. And I don't know. I guess it's more of a chill game, right? You're supposed to chill out, but for me, I don't know. I always just kind of get bored of it, and at this point, I feel like I've seen everything that series has to offer. If they made an Empire 2, I'd buy it because I really like that time period, or a Napoleon 2. And let's face it, the Warhammer thing I'll probably end up buying. So, the 40k one. Yeah, it just becomes like busy work. Medieval 3 is literally vaporware. I mean, the trailer they showed off, they said it's entering early pre-production. And basically, if you're angry and you want somebody to be angry alongside you, you need to look up a guy called Voland. Let me show you Voland Total War. This is the angriest man alive. Truly the angriest of gamers. And basically, he's just been getting mad about Total War for like the past 10 years or something. And so he just talks over and over again about how bad Total War is. And he summed up because essentially the what is that for a picture? Do you guys know what this is? Do you know what this is? You know, during the 12-day war, Iran versus Israel, this was filmed in Lebanon, and there's a full video of this somewhere with sound. They're at the top of a house, of like a party. They're having a party at the top floor of a restaurant, and there's a guy playing the saxophone. This isn't photoshopped, as the missiles from Iran fly over Lebanon to strike Israel. That's what this is. Oh my god. Anyway, what Medieval 3 means, if you want to learn about Medieval 3 from a very angry man, because yeah, as he complains more and more about Total War, everybody who gets fired from Creative Assembly just leaks a bunch of shit to him. So he knows exactly what's going on. The thing is, it will kill your hype. You will be very sad after watching Volland. particularly his Rome Total War 2 stuff, which I guess is not as popular, but um, yeah, very funny guy. Very entertaining. Very entertaining. And yeah, his favorite is Shogun 2, which was pretty good actually, and the AI in that game wasn't so bad. Part of it was that there's only 4 units in the game, right? Spear, sword, bow, horse, and so it's kind of easy to get that sorted, right? But yeah, the realm divides, right? And I think it happens in Rome too, where like your nation just splits in half or something. Realm divide, yeah. But no, honestly, I don't play that many video games anymore. I know it sounds strange. I literally just play Wano. So I wake up, work on my thesis corrections for an hour or so, do my exercise, etc., chores and whatnot, and then I work on my own video game for half the day, and then the other half of the day I make the YouTube videos for the channel, which involves Wano, and I enjoy making my own video game and I enjoy playing Wano. So there's not really much time for other stuff because I really want to finish my own game, right? Which I am making. I mean, this is the engine here. It's not the best thing ever, but make space for the Warner clone. Rome 2 was not peak when it first came out. If you recall, that game was a smoldering pile of garbage. It was an absolute horror show. Absolute horror show of a game. It was like, so if you were uphill from somebody and they were fighting you and they were downhill, the downhill guys would win. Like stuff like that. It was ridiculous. It was so fucking broken. But no, if you really want to not enjoy Rome 2 Total War, watch Volan's video series on how it's worse than Rome 1. And by the end of it, you will be as jaded as he is. But I mean, he's Scottish. They're all like that. It's shite being Scottish. Too much heroin in the tap water. Yeah, the principal argument comes down to basically from. I know it was in Rome too. Siege is saying it was from Shogun too. He might be right. In Rome 1, units only had like 1 HP. And so if slingers were shooting you from the front and you were in testudo mode with your shields, right? It would just do 0 damage to you constantly. And so you could just sit there getting hit by those. But if they attacked you in the side, it would do 1 damage and you'd just fucking die, right? Or at least it'd have a chance to do 1 damage and, you would slowly start dying. Whereas in Rome 2, everything's health based. And so if archers shoot at you for long enough, even if you're in testudo mode, where you shouldn't really be taking any damage at all, they will eventually just kill you. And that's it is a bit worse, really. But yeah, he goes into it in excruciating detail. Excruciating detail. 3 ads. I just have it on automatic. I don't know anything about that. I don't choose when they come up. I don't choose how it works. I'm sorry if you're getting too many ads. It has 3 presets: balanced, aggressive, and conservative. And I just have it on the default, which is balanced. Ad revenue on YouTube isn't great. The issue is if you switch off your ads, because I mean, like literally, like over 3/4 of the channel revenue is from the channel joiners. That's why I mention it so much, because 75% of the revenue is from the channel joiners. And so, like, if it were up to me, I'd probably just make a video saying, hey, if this number gets to this number, I will just switch off the ads. The thing is, you can't do that. Because if you switch off the ads on your videos, your channel immediately dies. YouTube just stops recommending your videos to everybody. Because YouTube's purpose is to make money off serving you ads. And so if you switch off the ads on your video, they just never recommend your video. Because why would they? They want to recommend somebody's video that has ads on it so they can make money. So I can never switch off the ads. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. On Twitch, there's no ads. Because only about 5 people watch on Twitch, so I don't see the point. Uh, Spartan hoplites having 2 HP and unbreakable because their cape was cool. And yeah, the Egyptians in Rome 1 were not particularly historically accurate. I haven't played Pharaoh. Some people said Pharaoh was actually not a bad game because it was made by the Bulgarian studio, and apparently the Bulgarian studio are good at making games, which is interesting because obviously I should back the British main studio, but Creative Assembly now is like most major game studios, where everybody who was actually involved in making that studio great has either been promoted into obsolescence or has retired, uh, or moved to another company, and so it's like a Skinwalker studio, like Bungie. Like Bungie is like what made by Bungie, the Halo devs? No, no, no. How many other guys at Bungie actually worked on Halo? It's like maybe 3 or 4 out of the several hundred employees. And so their modern games are slop, and it's like, wow, Bungie. It's as if it's like if somebody just killed me and put this on, and they were like, I'm hippie, bro. And yeah, exactly. Bulgaria, no DEI. It's probably a bunch of guys being paid slave wages who actually really care about video
Angry
games.
Bird subscribed to the channel.
Thank you, Angry Bird. So, something's going on with the players. They're missing a player. Oh, I see. Are they on about, Oh, it's the Ukrainian guy. Oh, flipping heck. I tell you what's happened. They're talking about, like, basically he's lost power. Because, well, I don't know. I mean, obviously, they might be joking, but we've had problems with that in Warno tournaments where people message me and they're like, I can't show up, I've not got power. And it's because the Russians have just blown up the power station. I mean, it's a horror show. It's very, very sad. I could sub in. I'm sure they'd appreciate that. I'm sure they'd appreciate that. I'm sure they'll find somebody. But yeah, it's not fair, really, is it? But so when the game first came out, I'm sure I could fight these guys. But having they have now played it every day for 6 months, and I most certainly have not. So I believe they are quite a bit better than me at this point. How's it going, lol, brother? Russia lost the last game. Yeah, exactly. Putin's watching this stream, and he's like, "Mate, they're getting disqualified. You can't do this to them, man. It's not their fault. I live in a war zone. Get good. Skill issue. Should have been born somewhere else, bitch. No, it's not fair. Can't do this to me." Surely they can get somebody. Surely, surely. I mean, if it comes down to it, I will play, but there's no way that they need me to play. Look how many people are in this chat. You can see this, can't you? Yeah. So these are the 5 guys, burgers and fries, and these are all the well. These 2 are casters. This is an admin. This is an admin. But they've got 1, 2, 3 guys here who they can get to join in. So there's no way they need me, mate. I am shit at this game now. I used to be good, right? But I haven't even played it this month. uh, yeah. Exactly, yeah, they sent me. They said, I'm in Greenland. I'm coming to you live from Greenland. The one soldier Britain sent, it's me. Or my younger brother. They sent my younger brother. I watched all your Wardo videos, I'll win. But like the way Broken Arrow plays is so strange. It's completely backwards from the way every single other RTS is played. In Broken Arrow, you are rewarded for not spending your income. There's no other game like that. Like there literally isn't. Like maybe World in Conflict 2007, but even then, didn't they have a cap in World in Conflict? In this game, you're incentivized not to spend your points. It's so strange. In every other RTS I've ever played, as soon as you get something, you need to spend it because then, you can put it on the field and it's doing something for you. Not so in Broken Arrow. World in Conflict had a cap. Yeah, I played the campaign, but I didn't play the multiplayer, so I don't know if the meta was to just save stuff. Save up. Uh, it's realistic. I mean, I suppose you could say that, but the optimum way to play Wano is sort of to attack in waves anyway for big attacks. And you don't need the upkeep system to do that. It just kind of naturally occurs because if you want to kill a guy before he kills you, you want as many guns as possible on that target. And so it lends itself naturally to attacking in big waves. At the higher end, obviously. And I suppose at the same time, you have a four-man MG team scouting the forest. And there's just four-man MG teams with MGs on tripods scouting all the forests. Which is, of course, quite strange. But there it is. But yeah, there's no way they get disqualified for this. Surely that cannot be the case. Okay, that's all good. Do I really want to watch this? I might get copyright struck. Oh, who gives a fuck? Let's just find out what this is. Oh, wow. I forgot I lived in a third world country. I literally can't watch it in the UK. But yeah, if the Russians nuked London, it'd be a serious improvement. I don't got a license. Not got a license. No license for poker. There's loads of stuff that's banned on. Oh yeah, yeah. So like Reddit, there are sites on Reddit. There are parts of Reddit that I can't go on because I haven't put my age. I haven't put my driver's license into Reddit, and it's like I'm not fucking doing that. I'm trying to find one for you. It's like r/alcoholism you can't go on and stuff like that because it's age gated, and I get messages from Microsoft once every couple of days saying that they're gonna ban me from Age of Empires 4 if I don't upgrade. I won't be able to play multiplayer if I don't submit my digital ID to them. It's like I cannot believe I live here. Is this really what it's come down to? Crazy. I'm trying to find the one that I can't view. Maybe they fixed it. They might have fixed it, but I don't think they did. It's like so like yes, yes, here you go. Right. So obviously, drinking's haram anyway. But if I go on reddit.com/r/alcohol, it just says you can't go on it because you have to verify your birthday, and then you press this, and it's like please upload a photo of yourself or submit your passport or driver's license to Reddit. I'm not fucking doing that. and their sister site, Imgur, which is like a massive image hosting website. I can't go on Imgur anymore. That's so useful, just to upload an image and send it to somebody. I can't do it anymore. Because they were like, oh, we have to implement age 18 checks. Well, we're not doing that. We'll just ban all British people. Great. Now, they're saying that they're going to ban VPNs. Sorry, they're going to do the exact same thing to VPNs. Like, you can't use the VPN unless you upload your passport photo or your driver's license to the VPN website. And it's like, it's just to protect the kids. Yeah, it's definitely not so the government knows everything I'm doing. That can't possibly be the case. Anyway, welcome to game 2. Welcome to game 2 of the Broken Arrow Best of 3. The Russian team, BMS, Joint Russian-Ukrainian team, won the last game. They were playing as the Americans, the stronger faction at the moment. And now, the American team is playing as the Americans. And they chose this map. They chose this map, but their opponents got to choose the side. This is Chernigov's River or something. Chernigov's River or something like that. So, for those of you who are just joining us, the way this works is... oh, I fucked something up. Oh, bollocks. There's no spectate mode in Broken Arrow. So these are the finalists, and they're required to stream their games. I guess this guy doesn't want to. Everybody else is. So we are watching player perspectives, and there's no way around that. So credit to the players. So we got this is Nub, or Noob, spelled incorrectly, and he's playing as, what is this, Marine Striker, and then we got Relica playing as Let's Helo Rush. What is that? Who gets Comanches? Is that Special Forces? So Special Forces and don't know what the other one is. I need to see some more units. I can't remember who gets RRC, Rangers RRC. Isn't that also Special Forces? F-35A. This is Special Forces something, right? Special Forces something. So big Helo opener. Oh wait, they're also playing as America. Oh, okay. So I wonder why the American team picked Russia in game 1. Isn't America just better? So the killer eggs are a lot like the Warno AA things, where they're actually just crazy cost effective for what they are, because you don't have to pay so much for an AA piece in the air. So that's what makes them good. Of course, in Warno you only get 3 of them for the whole game. That's not the case here. This guy literally plays backwards. That's crazy. He plays backwards. That's his spawn over there. He just has it rotated the wrong way around. So there you go, the purple F-35. Oh, it's an F-22. Okay, so it's slightly different. Seems to just be killing everything. Got taken out there. He plays backwards. What a gamer. He's on a 0.17 KD though, so that's not fantastic. Then we've got Smoko. He plays forwards, and he's playing Marine something. Marine Armoured, maybe? Mshorad? I think that's Marine Armoured. One of those divisions in Wano terms. So this is like the Marines which aren't in Wano yet, sold separately, plus 3rd Armoured, basically. The other guy was playing like 101st Airborne plus 9th US or something. And then we got Zulu Cobra, who I lost to in a tournament. And he's playing as, oh my god, how on earth is he coping with this? Oh no, how does he play? How does he play? How does he play? How did I get beaten by somebody who plays the game at 3 FPS? What a gamer! What a gamer! Get me out. So let's go back to this one. I refuse to believe it's that bad on his screen. I assume it's just like he's put, the Discord has low priority on his graphics card or whatever. There's no way he's been playing the game like that. Life finds a way. Reminds me of if you ever see so Tortiq is a really really good player at Wano and used to be and is very good at Red Dragon, but he plays on like minimum settings and it takes him like 10 minutes to launch the game and shit like that, and it just makes you think like, this guy's about as good as I am now. Imagine if he had the FPS that I have, he'd probably beat the shit out of me. It's like, wow, with this massive disadvantage, he's just as good as I am. It's actually quite scary. He's got longer reaction time at 2 FPS. So, almost all infantry in Broken Arrow has smoke grenades. Not all of them, but most of them have smoke grenades. And once the Broken Arrow beta came out, that's when we started getting loads of smoke grenades on infantry and Wano. So, honestly, you should want Broken Arrow to succeed. If only because the competition is good for us. Like, if you recall, like, we got the artillery rework, or at least, I mean, they still haven't done it yet. But they said they'd do it because of Broken Arrow. If you recall, when Broken Arrow came out, they started doing like 2 dev diaries a week and promising all this shit, which is still not in the game, but there it is. So the Marine Raiders, the one on the right, is a very chonky squad, and they're very good at close range. The Force Recon on the left of that little blob, they're I think they've got AT, like better AT. But yeah, in this game, infantry have like shotguns and stuff. Some things this game does do better. For starters, the range scaling is 1-to-1. What do I mean by that? If you zoom in on a house in Wano, the game will quite happily tell you that the house is 100 meters long. So the game will say, like, this is 3 kilometers or whatever. It's multiplying everything by 2.86, I think. It's something like 2.86. I don't know why it's such a retarded number. In Broken Arrow, everything is actually the distance it should be. So, that's just way better. I don't understand why they did it that way in Wano. I guess it's because then they can say the artillery, then the ranges are realistic, right? Because they can say the tank shoots 2 kilometers. Whereas if they didn't have that range scaling, the tank would actually be shooting 600 meters max range, and people would freak out about that. So there's problems either way, and that's just the decision they've made. So there's your bombing run there. Just comes in, snipes one, gets out, no AA. You hate to see it. So Russians winning at the moment, the enemy team, and there's that cheeky recon around the back, same as last time. That's how Americans measure meters. So those are combat engineers. They are good at close range. The guys he's running towards are good at close range. When they're flashing red, they're panicked. That's exactly like low cohesion on Wano. Now that AVVP thing, we're going to get in Wano soonish when Landjuk comes out. And it actually can carry multiple squads. So that's another thing Broken Arrow does better. Like, we got to give them credit where credit's due. In Broken Arrow, a transport has a certain number of units, like men it can carry, and let's say it can only carry 8 men and you have a 9-man squad, it won't load up. If you lose a man from that squad, they will load up. If you heal up that squad afterwards, they won't load up. Now, incidentally, in the last devlog, they said they were going to change it so that you could resupply units within transports. So what happens if I resupply my 8-man unit to 9 men in my 8-seater transport? Will they just get booted out, or will the game crash? Find out next time on Broken Arrow. It really is incredible. Like Broken Arrow does a lot of things right, a lot of things better, but the technical underpinning of the game is truly terrible. It's really awful. And there's a very good reason for this. The devs, Steel Backlover, right? The one you've all heard of is Flix, FLX. He was the game designer on Red Dragon and Steel Division 1, I think. The rest of the studio, for the most part, were a Wargame Red Dragon Pro team who started their own company and learnt game development themselves. So when you hear that story, it's an extremely inspirational story. Credit to them, power to them. They were like, fuck this, we're making our own game, and they actually made it, and they made $33 million on Steam. So, good for them. The problem is, on a technical standpoint, because they all taught themselves from YouTube tutorials or whatever, the game is sort of a joke. Like, it's got good ideas, but the execution's bloody terrible. And as soon as I tell you, oh yeah, they're all self-taught, there used to be a Wargame Red Dragon Pro team, it just immediately makes sense, doesn't it? It's like, oh, okay, that's why the game is the way it is. So, because that's what's going on. How's it going, Ivan? Oh, that's so annoying. There's some sort of auto-moderation thing on Twitch. And it just deleted this guy's comment. By that I mean it deleted it 10 minutes ago, and I didn't notice it. I don't know how to turn that off, sorry. I mainly look at the YouTube chat. Can't the Star Wars mod for Wano have transports with multiple squads? Yeah, it can. So that's a very good point, actually. It is incredible how much the Wano engine is capable of that they just don't give us. It really is something. It's like all these modders are like, oh yeah, you could just do that. Wait, what do you mean? Well, why doesn't you just do it? It's already possible in the game. How would you handle loud neighbours that are extra loud after you call the cops on them? I don't know. I'm very, very fortunate with my neighbours. Very, very fortunate. The walls here are quite thin, but they keep it down. And I try and keep it down, but I yell at my computer all the time, so I'm probably the bad neighbour. You're probably talking about me. So, another Comanche in the backline. I mean, the Russians are basically just doing the same thing they did last time, and it's working for them. Looks like that Paladin's going to get blown up. And the question is, why aren't the American team, why aren't Monkeys doing the same thing? Where's their Comanche around the backline? Like, we've literally seen the exact same two things we saw in the last game. We saw a recon deposited around the back, near the spawn, right? And we saw the Comanche in the back. And they're just going to keep doing that. And it's a good way to play. You abuse the... Because basically in this game, helos can have stealth, and the Comanche is a stealth helo. Not done in Wano, right? Probably because it'd be fucking AIDS. Can you imagine? Gazelle cannon in you... Oh, okay, it doesn't even bear thinking about. you get a Gazelle cannon in your backline. And there goes the Booker M10 Iron Fist. So, Marine Raider should win, but the opponent sprinted away. So he's going to get out. And yeah, it looks, honestly, so Monkeys are playing with a sub. The team we're currently watching are playing with a sub. This Bobber guy, he said he was subbed in. But it looks like the Russian-Ukrainian team just completely outclass them. Well, okay, maybe not completely, but it seems that this game is going the same way as Game 1. It is a best of 3, so this is the final game if they don't get their act together. Some of it is arrogant siege, some of it. A lot of it isn't, though. It's just, like, they genuinely don't understand in some cases. There have been one or two situations where I believe they've acted the way they've acted out of a kind of French arrogance, but it's usually not the reason. The reason is usually just they want to, they need to make the next DLC or they're all going to lose their jobs because they'll run out of money. and so the last DLC doesn't get X thing because they just, you know, they're too busy working on the next thing. Obviously, it varies on a case-by-case basis, but and I can't cite specific examples because of the NDA I signed, so I can't really give you any proof of any of this. But there's only been 1 or 2 times where I'm like, okay, you're just being a bell end. Usually, it's just they don't have enough time to do what we want them to do. So looks like that striker's gonna. No, striker's dead. These Booker M10s are pretty crazy. So it's got like a 40mm autocannon. It might be 50mm. It's a very powerful gamer, and it's got active protection. So it just runs up to infantry and just kills them. So do you see that bullet did nothing? And the opponent buys the M10 Booker. But yeah, generally my main problem with Broken Arrow is that you just don't get enough units. I feel like the player agency is very low, and that is a deliberate decision that they've done on purpose. They want you to not get enough units, so that 1, you're forced to work with your team, and 2, they can attract the casual audience, and certainly they have attracted the casual audience. Not everybody who plays as a casual, but the game has sold way better than Warno, and that's because they got, they attracted a wider audience. So check out that squad. It's got AT4s and javelins. Unfortunately, it is dead. I'm surprised he's not popped his smoke on that. He can smoke. He doesn't have to die there. He's got smoke. Another thing you'll notice is, when they lose cohesion and they start flashing, they gain damage resistance. So it's easy to get out. It's easier to get out. You gain damage resistance, sort of like fallback in SD2, if you remember that. Yeah, marketing does play a big time. Marketing does play a big time. It does play a big role. Berezin, watch the Twitch stream. Go on Twitch and watch it there. There's no ads on the Twitch stream. It's just the quality's less, the bitrate's less. On Twitch, the bitrate is it's like 6,000 kilobits per second. On YouTube, it's 36,000. And that's just a problem with Twitch. It doesn't go higher than 6K. So you get to choose if you want higher quality with ads or lower quality without ads. Well then, why are you leaving if you've already managed to find a way to fleece me? You think Broken Arrow looks better? I don't know. I don't really agree with that. Like if we look at like objectively the counts of let's play devil's advocate here. Okay, so objectively, Warno has the higher polygon count. Like there's more detail on things, but there are some things that Broken Arrow does do better in terms of graphics. One of them are the tracers on guns and stuff. If anybody has played Warno for more than 5 minutes and has faced a 40mm grenade launcher, you'll be confronted by an almost invisible projectile, which immediately kills all of your guys. Whereas in Broken Arrow, the tracers are big. The tracers are noticeable. They make the tracers like massive, right? Because they appreciate, instead of making them realistically sized, they appreciate that you're playing the game mega zoomed out, so the tracers need to be big. So in that regard, Broken Arrow does look better. So that's the example I'd cite. Sound design in BA is better. Yeah, the voice acting's kind of better. I mean, what cool voice acting do we get in oh no, we get Sargento Highway is hit. Give me morphium. The sound, I don't know. I mean, the actual like shooty sounds in Warno are probably better. But okay, so this is another thing, right? So I don't have definitive proof of this, but Warno seems to use a realistic way of scaling sound. So when you're right next to something, it's really fucking loud. and when you zoom out, you can't hear it at all. And that's the way sound works in real life. Is it's called an inverse square function, so it's not linear. I'm gonna have to explain this to you. So you can keep watching the game, right? The way it works in Broken Arrow, I think, is this is loudness, volume, right? Volume. And this is distance. So in real life, it does this. It does like it's like an inverse square function. So the volume, you know, if you go, the volume at 5 meters, right, is going to be, let's call it 100 volume. But at 10 meters, it's not going to be 50. It's going to be more like 20. And that's realistic. But the game you play zoomed out, so you can't hear anything except those bloody heli rocket pods because they're closer to you, and they go and you can't hear anything. So Wano has better sounds, but the way it's implemented into the game is harder to hear. Whereas if I just shut up for a second and you listen out of your left ear, did you hear that explosion? Right? That explosion is not even on the map. You can't see that where that's happening. But you can hear it. And that leads to a more immersive gameplay, even though it's less realistic. And that's probably because, and I don't have the evidence for this, that's probably because they're just using a linear model. Right? So at 10 meters, it's 50 volume instead of 20. So even though the individual sound bites of the guns, right? Because if you zoom in on like the new Lufty artillery or the Danners or anything, it sounds really cool. Like if you hear the Strela shoot, it's got this little squeak before it fires, and that's realistic. That's actually what it sounds like. But the issue is, you play zoomed out and you can't hear anything except that Mi-8 rocket thing going or that fucking drone, right? So, what can you do? What can you do? Well, we can watch somebody else play if you want. So this is Nub, and we can watch, this is, Relica, right? So, Relica plays sideways. At least they're not playing back. No, they're playing backwards. That's their spawn. Relica, for whatever reason, plays backwards. I guess it stops you from being hit in the backline as much because you're always looking at your own backline. And Relica clearly has the AI thing set to high because you see the blurriness on that AI frame interpolation, whatever it is. And then you've got Smoko. So Smoko is he's smoking. There's true to form. Smoko is firing smoke at his enemies. So that's a very powerful gameplay there. We do like the LARP. And this is Zulu Cobra who plays like this apparently. I find this very hard to believe. Surely it's not like that on his screen. What a gamer. What a gamer. I don't even want to watch it because it's probably going to slow his computer down if I even look at it. So don't want to do that to him. The poor sod has to play like this. Anyway. So we found that this seems to be the best overall viewing experience. Yes, it does. In Broken Arrow, the Vasilek, I believe, can smoke. Or at least in Wargame Red Dragon it can smoke, so... A broken personal computer. Hopefully, well that's the thing, we need Zulu Cobra to win so he can afford a single gigabyte of RAM. If he wins the $400 prize pool, he can afford 1 megabyte. 1 megabyte of random access memory. Yes. 3 megabytes of RAM. Truly, we needed those AI cat videos. It's funny because I've got some RAM that it sort of broke, and I've always been meaning to RMA it. But to RMA it, I have to take the other stick of RAM out of my computer because I bought them in a pair and send them both. And before it was like kind of a non-issue. At this point, that's like sitting on $1 million. I should probably just sell it. Sell the faulty RAM. Could buy a house. It's so Broken Arrow is programmed in the Unity game engine, and the Unity game engine is notorious for being unoptimized shite. It really is a shame, but part of it is also the dev's ability to optimize, as we've discussed recently on the program. Doing our best to talk about everything other than the gameplay happening on screen, of course. The guys who made this game are a former Wargame Red Dragon pro clan who taught themselves game development. So their skills at optimization are probably not as good as somebody who has been, you know, working on this stuff professionally, if that makes sense. There's a lot of things that just aren't in this game. Barter the RAM with raiders after the UK collapses. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the reason why Wano is so well optimized is because it's a custom engine that they've been working on for 20 years. So there's a lot of things that are just better made. It's hard to... So if you're not familiar with how this works, I mean, the simplest analogy is a game engine is sort of like the engine in your car. And so yes, you can build a performance race car from, you know, a standard engine if you soup it up a lot and add aftermarket shit onto it. But you will never get the best thing unless you build an engine that is designed entirely to be a race car, right? And in the same vein, if you have a race car engine and you try and use it in a regular car, it will do it, but it won't do it very well, right? It's the difference between being a tool that sort of does everything well, or a tool that does one thing really well. So that is ultimately some overkill mechanics there. That is ultimately why Eugen's engine is so well optimized. It is probably the most well optimized RTS engine I've ever seen. And that's because it only makes RTS games. It doesn't do anything else. You can't make a shooter with it. Whereas Unity, the way Unity works is they make an engine and they sell it to whoever wants to buy it, right? I mean, the licensing things, right, it's sort of free, but if you make so much money you have to pay them and so on. And so what that means is for the game engine devs to make their money, they basically need to appeal to as wide an audience of game makers as possible. And so in Unity you can make any kind of game, but it will not be well optimized for any of those tasks. And in most cases that doesn't matter. Now this game, it runs like shit. It still made $33 million. You still bought it, you fucking retard. As did I. So ultimately, for most people's usages, it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, that's that classic Eugen double, if not triple nerf Garnivar. So the cluster mortar had its price go up, okay, fair enough, it was retarded. Then it had its aim time go up, okay, fair enough, it was retarded. Then it had its trajectory completely ruined. Now it goes into the stratosphere. And then they turned around and made it not cluster anymore. But they still kept all the old problems. So now it's just a useless piece of shit and you should never bring it. Hooray! Does Eugen sell its engine to other devs? Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. They should. I mean, could you imagine, like, if you had the funds, you could basically just hire a couple of the modders. You know that guy who works on the Star Wars mod and the Baltona mod? You could just hire him to be a full-time dev, right? Put together a team and make whatever, Korean War using the Eugen game engine, but to my knowledge they've never licensed it out to anybody. They probably don't have, you know, because you'd have to write things, you'd have to write documentation, and, you know, you'd have to make it presentable, do you know what I mean? If you were to give it out to people, then there's a certain expectation. Now, this Abrams is probably going to get hit by 2 javelins now. And, yeah, that is already down to very low HP. And he is trying to get a bomber in on it, but he's changed his mind, and the bomber's going for the Booker now. The Russians are doing quite well for themselves. They've got +6 on the kills. And, that was a good hit. So, regular rangers, eh? Quite rare to see that. Or at least it was when I was playing, all those years ago. But the point is, Berezin, if they were making their own, if they licensed the engine, then they'd get a percentage of every sale. And so if somebody beat them, they wouldn't really give a shit because they'd be making money off it. And yeah, it looks like the Russians are gonna, or the Russo-Ukrainian team, looks like they're gonna win the Broken Arrow. Although the game doesn't actually end until the end of Phase 3, so you're forced to listen to me yap for another 15 minutes. Oh, the humanity. Yeah, exactly, yeah, they could have licensed it out to the Broken Arrow guys. Just cheekily license out the game to the guy who sued you, who left your company and sued you on the way out. Let bygones be bygones. To this day, there are 2 Eugen Systems YouTube channels. Yeah, here they are. Oh, fuck, where'd it go? Yeah, you see this, right? This is Eugen Systems, and this is also Eugen Systems. So what happened there? Well, a bunch of the devs sued the company for unpaid overtime and left. And one of the guys who left was their community manager. Is it all beginning to click into place now? Why don't these guys have a community manager? It's because they have PTSD from this guy. He apparently just salt-walled them on the way out and took all the passwords with him, including to their own YouTube channel, so they had to start a new YouTube channel. And apparently he just didn't do anything, he was just a terrible employee. And this is why they don't have a community manager. They literally have PTSD from this guy. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, when Warner first came out, they had to start another YouTube channel because this guy took the fucking passwords. What a joke. But yeah, the Marine Raiders in close quarters are really, really nice. These killer eggs, though, are super cost effective because you can put Hellfires on them and Stingers. And you can just, you know, use them everywhere, and if they die it doesn't really matter because they're really not that expensive. That Super Cobra probably cost as much as both of those killer eggs. But yeah, I think the Russian team is really benefiting from, the Russo-Ukrainian team is really benefiting from backline action. Like, we've seen that constantly throughout both of these games. Whereas this American team, we've not seen any attempts at backline action. Him sending that helicopter around is the first thing we've seen to that end. And even then, he's not going all the way around, if that makes sense. And yeah, the backline shenanigans are very important, because if you only have 7 units and one of them dies, well, that's sort of a big problem. So if they get your 350 point mega artillery, it's a big deal. So Marine Raider's probably going to go down there. Oh, I didn't make it. And yeah, you see the laser guided rounds coming in there with the laser beams. Very, very cool. Very cool. IRL war experience. So, yeah, you just go around, bro. Just hit them from Belarus. this supposedly neutral country. Could you fucking imagine if the Ukrainians just marched through Finland into northern Russia? We'd probably have a nuclear war. But it's alright if they go through Belarus. Somebody tell the admins this isn't fair. Anyway. Yeah, we'll see about the RT rework. But yeah, this is a $400 prize pool. I don't know what the split is. I assume the winner does not take all. I'd assume second place will still get something. But once you divide that by 5 people, the pickings become thin indeed. So let's say, hypothetically, they're getting 3/4 of the prize pool. I'm just making that up, I don't actually know. So that's $300 US. Okay, divided by 5. That's $60 US, which, I mean, for playing a video game, it's cool. But that's a far cry from the $400 number, right? Yeah, exactly. You paid for your copy of Broken Arrow. You paid for your copy of Broken Arrow. Unless you bought the Mega Edition. Which I did. Hooray! So yeah, that Carl Gustav, you just, for a split second you saw a Carl Gustav there. That is a squad that gets triple rocket launchers. And that's basically the only good rocket launcher squad in the game. That Batman one we saw before, he's okay, but he ain't that great. The only really good one is that Ranger Moors with 3 Carl Gustavs. That might kill a heavy tank from the front. None of the other ones can. There it is, you just saw it again there. There it is, there it is.
Hello, I like money.
Peter Lee subscribed to the channel.
Thank you, Peter. It's a good point, yeah. Money goes a little bit further in the east of Europe. Yeah. So yeah, maybe you could make a living. And yeah, that's another cool thing. You just saw him do that there. You can buy a transport and you can bring infantry in it and supply in it. This whole thing behind dropping off supply is very, very cool. Like, that is a nice feature, I think. Although ultimately, how much does it really change if you just have a supply vehicle stood still or if you drop off some supply? But the idea is you can like drop off half of your supply in one point and then half in the other point. Like, it's kind of dynamic in a way. Whoa, check out those laser beams. Well, Viper goes down though to the Lav Shorad. And yeah, they're going for J. Hey man, they might win this. They're on a +6. If the game ended right now, it would be even. Oh. Well, how does that work then? I don't know how ties work in this. There's a best of 3. But they might get J as well. The main thing is they have to not feed. It would be interesting to get a game 3. Having said that, I'm not sure how much enthusiasm I have left for Broken Arrow. Flash is weaker than steel. Yeah, but the idea is that you can hide somewhere, right? Like a squad in the open, yes. If I am stood still on a big flat field and you have a 30mm BMP2 autocannon, yes, I am going to die pretty quickly. But in real life, the field isn't completely flat. And as soon as I see the guy next to me die, I'm going to hit the deck and you're not going to be able to hit me anymore, or at least it'll be harder. So there is that kind of dichotomy there. Also, you know, what's the cost of a tank, an Abrams tank? 20 mil, maybe? That might be an underestimate. How much do I cost? I'm free. They can just bring in some more guys from Pakistan. They do it all the time. So, doesn't matter if I die. If I die, they don't have to pay me anymore. So, people are free. Tanks are expensive. Abrams is only 8 mil. Oh, right, okay, fair enough. It's cheaper than I thought it'd be, actually. Beyond All Reason. I tried streaming that, and it is fun. It's just it's nobody was really watching them, and you know, like the reason people watch me play Wano and Wano adjacent games is because I'm obviously the world #1 Broken Arrow player, and so people watch me because I'm good. Whereas when I was streaming Beyond All Reason, it was just me being retarded because I don't know how to play it, and people don't find that as competitively compelling. But look, this is. Look, guy, you're talking about Beyond All... We're mogging Beyond All Reason, right? We have 94 people watching. That's more than all of these put together. 60... so that's 80, 85, 91, 2, 3, 4, 5, 95. Whoa, no, they're beating me, they're beating me. Guys, open up more tabs. But if we add the 6 from Twitch, there you go. So no, the new hotness is clearly not streaming Beyond All Reason. And this is not a big YouTube channel. Oh yeah, Winter Gaming gets a lot. I like watching his videos actually. That's what got me into Broken Arrow. There's like 50 versus 50 versus 50. The tech behind that engine is insane. Maybe that's the most optimized RTS engine. Beyond All Reason. And it's free, by the way, guys. If you like Supreme Commander, I'd check it out. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just it's not on Steam. And, you know, Steam drones... If it's not on Steam, they don't know what to do. An executable on my computer? We have 10 units in play, the game will crash. Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, Beyond All Reason, they literally have like 200 player games. It is insane. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you do have to train people. It takes time. But you have to train vehicle crews as well, right? Obviously, there's a part where it evens out. But generally... Because, yeah, you have to train vehicle crews. Like, fighter pilots are obviously the creme de la creme of... This man takes, you know, several thousand hours to get good. And if he doesn't... If you do what the Indians do and just don't give them that much training, then the fucking Pakistani Timu jet shoots down your Raphael and everybody laughs at you. So you gotta give him the training, otherwise you're gonna look very silly. But yeah, on the flip side, you've got the infantry, and of course, you know, the more specialized the infantry, the longer it takes to train them, and you know, the more training you give the infantry, generally, the better they perform. And then how many infantrymen is the cost of one tank? But yeah, one infantryman obviously cheaper than one tank. The issue you've got is one drone is cheaper than one infantryman, and that's the current paradigm, right? The drones are, in warfare terms, drones are almost free. It's really quite ridiculous how cheap they are compared to everything they kill. F-16s to ChatGPT. Well, that is literally what is happening. They're trying to make fully autonomous drones because they're just cheaper than people, and if they die, you know, you don't have... My Billy died in Afghanistan, bring the boys home. Which, of course, is a completely reasonable statement, but if it's a robot, nobody gives a shit. Man, the Americans, they're doing it. If they keep this up, they can win. The main thing they've got to do is not die a lot. Like, they're taking H... Oh no, they're losing H. But can he take J in time? They need... If they only get 6 and the enemy gets 3, they're going to lose still, so... They need to stop feeding, basically. They've only got 2 minutes. Can they take H back? That's the main thing. If they don't take H back, they're going to lose the game. And the series. And then they won't be able to afford 16 kilobytes of RAM. So, yeah, big planes coming in here. Can the Abrams hold against the Bookers? Maybe with the plane help, the plane brain. But you got to watch out, because in your hasty, you can, of course, make wasty. Because you get points for killing people. And the Russians have almost got a +6 from killing people. So you gotta die less. So somehow you got to take the zone without losing any units, which is obviously not easy. So I think that plane traded positively there, because it got 2 kills and it only died once, right? And they look like an expensive helicopter and an expensive tank. So we got the big green attack on H. Can they do it? Can they turn this around? Can we summon the enthusiasm for one more game of Broken Arrow? Look at those laser-guided rounds coming in there. Sometimes they land too far away and they cannot bend enough, which is also pretty cool to watch. F-18 Hornets coming in. If it doesn't get any kills, then it's literally a throw, because it's just going to give the enemy loads of points. Oh, it's going to get kills. It's going to get kills. I think. What did it drop? Did it do anything? If it dies, it's fucking GG, man. No, the Russians, they're getting the kills back. They only need like 400 points to get that +6, and they've got a minute to get 400 kills, which is like 400 point kills, which is like, what, 1 heavy tank, 1 armata. There's no AA here. No, you gotta smoke. Stop feeding. You're gonna lose the game. What a game mode. Truly an inspirational game mode. The Russians, they've got the kills. And it looks like they're gonna take the series. 40 seconds left on the clock. Can the Americans pull anything out of the bag? Can we stop calling the Ukrainians Russian? He checks to see which one of his teammates are feeding the most. I saw a guy on 0.55 KD there. He's getting the paddle after the game's over. He's getting beaten up. Throwing the game there. 0.55 KD. And they've got 9, but the enemy's got 9. And it's going to be even Stevens. And it doesn't matter how many more zones they take now. It doesn't matter, because that you've ran out of room here. It doesn't go up anymore. You can own the whole map and still lose at this point. And yeah, the hasty, it made wasty. And he's just feeding a little bit more there. Got to lose another plane. And that's GG. So there you go. The winners of the biggest Broken Arrow tournament in the universe are the Russo-Ukrainian team, who are called something. Let's find out. BMS. And yeah, second place goes to Monkeys, who had a sub, incidentally, in their grand final. Oh, he quit off before we could see who fed the most. Who fed the most? Yeah, here we go. So here we've got Relica here. Is he the guy who plays backwards? Moral of the story, don't play backwards. But yeah, they took all the zones, but they lost all the people. And the game mode is utterly, supremely dog shit. And so you lose the game, and you're incentivized to just kind of camp and not lose any people. So, truly an inspirational game. If you want more Broken Arrow, first of all, ask yourself why. It's called Broken Arrow, mate. W say before. Unless you're on about what I was talking about before, which is called Beyond All Reason. If you want more Broken Arrow, first of all, rethink your position on the mat. But you can go on the Twitch, and this guy is probably the one to watch. These were the other guys who were streaming, if you want to watch that series again, but somebody talking who actually knows what they're doing. This guy is just restreaming this guy and taking all his views, so that's cool. But yeah, Benjiverse is probably the best Broken Arrow streamer. He's a very regular streamer. And this is N7 Shark here, who we can look up. And he makes good Broken Arrow videos as well. I myself only use Broken Arrow as a shitposting opportunity. I literally don't take it very seriously, so you should probably not watch. That's interesting. I type in N7 Shark, and I'm the second thing that comes up. Yes, here he is. He gives you good advice on Broken Arrow. So I've been told. I don't watch any of it because I already know how to do everything. Looks like he switched to Company of Heroes 3. Yes, that's very popular. That's a very popular strategy. Playing as little Broken Arrow as possible. But if we scroll back it up, there will be some Broken Arrow. Right, Broken Arrow here. Broken Arrow. Right, so yeah, check out N7 Shark. Check out Benjiverse. I did say I would fix that, and you can still hear them, so clearly not fixed. This was that Beyond All Reason game, right? And that's all she wrote. So 2-0 to the Russo-Ukrainian team. I'll admit there probably could have been more excitement if I actually knew more about the game. And if I had a spectate mode, so I could actually take control and see things and show you the unit stats and learn. Sadly, It's not the case. So I would prefer a round of Russian roulette over winning a $400 broken arrow tournament. So brain damage from broken arrow that you start playing Company of Heroes 3. Yeah, it is really something, isn't it, T-Man? It is really something. Take the whole map, lose on kills. Okay, bro. What a nice game mode. But it has to be that way because of all the comeback mechanics and the income scaling. Because if they didn't have kills as a factor with the income scaling, the optimum strategy would just be to get everybody killed as soon as possible so that you can get. Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever you'd get is basically a bullet to shoot at your opponent as quickly as possible so you can reload your gun and do it again. And yeah, it's those H1B visas, yeah. But yeah, the nuke would have been cool. We did see a nuke in the game, right? And yeah, the final was a USA mirror match. But the first game was a Russia versus USA, and then the Russians lost. The Russian player, the Russian team, the American team who played as Russia lost, and then in the next game they all just went America. So yes, truly, we are the broken arrow. Yeah, infinite availability plus comeback mechanics plus income scaling means that if kills aren't a factor, you get this problem. So it's basically like you know, you have to create more problems to solve the problems that you created. It's an interesting decision. Anyway, I hope you all have a lovely day. I hope you found that at least somewhat entertaining. I understand that it's not our usual thing. Credit to the organizers. The organizers, can you imagine the amount of shit you have to go through to organize a 5v5 tournament? I've organized 1v1. 2v2 is exponentially harder. I've done that a couple times and it's a total pain in the arse. Warnote has had 2 or maybe 3v3 tournaments over its entire 4 or 5 year existence. Any more than that has never been done. Can you imagine the work these guys would have had to do to do a 5v5 tournament? So credit to Yeet Machine, I think he was called, who had to go early. And yeah, the so N7 Shark on the cast, I think like he could have used his own YouTube channel to cast, but he used the official one, so he lost all those ducats. Yeet Machine was doing a lot of organization. This Raekwon guy clearly doing a lot of organization, along with Jagozo. And yeah, truly, we are the broken arrow. I've run out of things to say. Stay hydrated. I'm glad you got that. It's good. You should check it out.